Oil is the natural resource that underlies our whole society. The functioning of our society is completely dependent on a steady, reliable influx of oil. And throughout the lifetime of our parents' generation, there has only ever been an ever increasing amount of said natural resource. But because of the nature of natural resources, we can predict that there will be a downslope of the supply of this foundational natural resource that underpins the functioning of our society. Woke up this morning, rose with the rising sun. 3 little birds were at my doorway, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true. Singing, this is my message for you. Yeah! I'm gonna need gloves. What's the plan for today? The plan is to shift this soil and to level this land. Why? Because we need to put IBC tanks here. Why? Because we need to get water from the fuente, from the spring that is over there. Hey, missus. Hey. Hello, pretty girl. Good girl. The spring can be found somewhere within that wood, within that forest. And it's travelling along a pipe all the way to here. A good, I'd say 200 meters. And it's gravity that's feeding it to here. And so this level has to be lower than the outlet at the spring, which it is, so that gravity can continue to feed it and there's no need for a pump. Hello. Aww. Aww. Now, let me get some gloves. Mission accomplished. Gloves have been obtained. Is that ruining the focus? Get away! Now, on to the next task. To continue the main task of today, shifting this soil. Now, before going any further, it might be worth discussing why. Why are we doing this? Why do we have to do this? Why not just use high-tech and pumps and oil and the likes? Why rely on gravity? And I'll tell you why. The reason why is because we're right now in a limbo world, a world between worlds, if you will. The world that our parents grew up in and prospered in is changing rapidly relative to civilizational timescales, not so rapidly relative to an individual's lifetime. So this may be a bit too early to focus on these sorts of things. However, that being said, I think it's useful. I think it's going to become more useful in the future. And it's good now to learn these things and assimilate this knowledge so that when the time comes when it's necessary, I can personally be sure, I know how to do this, why to do this, and where to do this. Oil is the natural resource that underlies our whole society. The functioning of our society is completely dependent on a steady, reliable influx of oil. And throughout the lifetime of our parents' generation, there has only ever been an ever increasing amount of said natural resource. But because of the nature of natural resources, we can predict that there will be a downslope of the supply of this foundational natural resource that underpins the functioning of our society. And so it's worth our time, young people, trying to figure out how to establish the infrastructures needed to continue sustaining our society in a fundamentally different way in the absence of oil and machinery. So that's an interesting question of our times, and it can be considered the story of our species. This is a momentous period of human history, and we are blessed to be alive right here, right now. And so we better make use of our time and our lives and figure these things out. And really, this is very exciting. I don't see a challenge more momentous. I don't see a task more behemoth than the one that we're faced with right now. And it's up to us as individuals to step up and say, okay, let me see what I can do amidst this turmoil and chaos. World between worlds. That's a good one. Look at this. A world between worlds where human power is going to become more important. Human labour is going to feature a lot more than it did in our parents' generation, where it was mainly machine labour facilitated by the oil input. This is crazy. Hey, look at this topsoil. So you can see by the brown, that like light brown is topsoil. But then this black stuff, see here? All the black stuff is organic matter. It's dead grass and dead grass roots. And this is what's called humus. So it's organic matter, but it's also known as humus. And it's essential for growing plants because it is a great store of carbon, which itself is an energy source for the microbes who are doing all of the soil microbiology work for us. Because it's from this, the land, the soil, that we can derive value. We create crops which feed us, or our livestock, which then feed us, which we consider valuable because we need that stuff to sustain ourselves, to sustain our bodies, and to sustain our society. Earthy. Nah, I'm not gonna eat it. Okay, I'm gonna strip down now. Not to the nude, because that's culturally not permissible, but to as close to the nude that I can get while staying within the culturally permitted boundaries. The rain's coming back. Of course. Of freaking course. The rain's gonna return just as I take off my rain jacket. I've gotta love this life. Without getting too trippy, let's just see how fundamental and dependent upon oil we as humans in today's day and age are. This jacket is plastic. Plastic is itself derived from oil. These pants, same story. These tools, the metal pieces on these tools, no doubt came from some sort of an industrial process, as did the wood probably. But there you have it, like, oil completely permeates and suffuses our whole world. And so that is why the inevitable depletion of this natural resource is the story of our species. How we deal with that is probably one of the most, if not the most, important question of our times. So let's get to work. See this plastic bottle in which I've stored my water to quench my thirst? Oil. See the water contained within this plastic bottle that I'm gonna drink to quench my thirst? I won't go as far as to say that it is itself oil. It clearly isn't. However, the wastewater treatment plants that this water has more than likely passed through are themselves powered by, you guessed it, oil. Can we stop with the rant about oil and get to work? Yes. Shaving back the topsoil to level out the ground. Shaving back the topsoil to manage the water. Shaving back the topsoil to level the ground. You can come along and watch me manage the water supply. Damn. This is going to be a lot more work than I anticipated. Look at this level change. The depth change that we're talking about here must be half a meter, maybe a meter. And obviously to level this little rectangle we've set up for ourselves here, requires that I go deep on this far side, or the near side, from your perspective. Okay, let's take the jacket back off. Rain, rain has gone away. Do come back another day, just not today. Rainy rain, cause I'm working outdoors. Whew. That was an awful little note to end on, but you get my drift. Looks like we've got a big rainstorm incoming. Check it out. Wow. Yep, we're gonna have to pivot and adapt and say to ourselves, do we really need to continue working in such weather conditions? No. We can wait for the rain to pass. And that is indeed what I'm gonna do. Although I have to say, there's something very nice about the rain. Listen to it on the leaves of the tree. Can you hear that? Can you feel it? No, you can't. Can you smell it? No. I can feel, hear, smell, taste, and see it. But you can see it too. You can see and hear it. This world is far too magical to just let it slide off into oblivion. Actually, might be a good time to talk about water management, because right now it seems like water is plentiful, which it is, in all fairness. But, make no mistake about it, when the summer months come, here in the north of Spain, it's going to be very sunny, and there's going to be very little precipitation, very little rain. So, what do? You take advantage of the rain and the water as it comes down heavily, like right now, by building water infrastructure to store the water, to move the water and store the water, such as the IBC tanks and tubes, pipes to move the water. That's getting heavy. But also dig canals in the earth, and that way you can just passively manage the water and move it to wherever you want it to be when it's here. And then, when the summer months come and the precipitation fails to fall as reliably as you'd otherwise like, you resort to the storage infrastructure and you move the water to where you need it, your gardens, your grassland, your forest, wherever you need it, via the infrastructure you put in place while the water was plentiful. Okay, I'm going inside. Whoa! Here's the progress so far. Change of plans as well. Instead of digging down, I'm going to dig across, because this trench is going to be the deepest trench of all. Because here we have to get the level right down to its maximum so that it's in line with the bottom there. So it's like this. We need to take this and dig it right down to here so that we have a level to put the tanks on. So here's the progress so far. If the weather here was a person, we'd classify it as a person with mood swings, because it's going from rain to sun, back to rain. We've yet to get thunder, but we're getting the whole lot. It's a sweet world, giving you Godspeed. Is there something on the lens? There is. Piece of water on the lens. Get off. Better? Better. Godspeed. Sods. Sod off.
Don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, because every little thing. No. Woke up this morning, rose with the rising sun. 3 little birds were at my doorway, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true. Singing, this is my message for you. Yeah! Whew, tough work. Heavy going, but it can, must, and will be done. What's the point in having a healthy, strong, fit body unless you're going to put it to use? It's fucking tough though. This is as good, if not better, than a workout.